Hello ladies and gentlemen, An Idiot Imports is sponsored by PlayAsia, and this copy of the game you're about to see probably came from them as part of their sponsorship deal, unless I very specifically say it didn't in the video. If you want to support this series, use the link in the description to go to PlayAsia and buy an item or two. It'll help me out and increase the budget I get for import games. You can also use the coupon code BLUEVITA at checkout to save a bit of money, but it won't count towards my sales if you don't use that link. Either way, thanks for your support and enjoy the show. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm here checking out Ange TR. I know there's a subtitle to it, and it translates to roughly Battle of Angels and Dragons, I think it was. But I don't know the actual Japanese subtitle, so I'm not going to say it. Let's just get into my game before the intro video starts up again, because we all know how much those just love. I think I have my sound down a bit, actually. Let me just fix that up a little. You know how much I just love having to deal with that sort of thing. So, I've got a few save games here. I kept saving thinking, what would be a good point to start off? But I figured just I believe this one here, yeah, this one here is the save game I want to go to. It's kind of annoying the way the structure of this game works. We'll get into that, well, pretty much right now, because there's not going to be anything else to talk about. So, this is how the basic structure of the game works. It's a lot like a visual novel, more or less. It's an adaptation of a... That's the text log button. Hang on. There's the auto button. There we go. I hope that you can actually hear the voice acting that's going on in the background there. Because I sure can't. But yeah, here's the general idea. It's an adaptation of a TV show. The TV show is called Ange, if that much wasn't obvious. It's a mech fighting show with girls. Lots of girls. Girls that they feel the need to fan service the fuck out of. But yeah, here's the general structure of the game. Visual novel. You've got these massive cutscenes that go on absolutely forever, and they're all voice acted. Which, you know, good effort, but this is An Idiot Imports. I don't understand a word of this, so this isn't particularly relevant to me, but I will give them credit for having some decent voice acting, along with some really long and really drawn out cutscenes. Here's my problem with all these scenes though, and you can sort of kind of see it in these little scenes here. The way they present these girls is kind of my problem. This is live 2D. It's been used in a couple of anime adaptations of games. I believe the one I remember the most fondly is Kankol Kai, because they did a really good job with the live 2D technology in that one. In this game, it doesn't work as well. Let me put it that way. It's not just because the girls are all in bikinis. It looks like this normally too. But the way it works is... well, the way it looks is kind of weird. Like, it looks like they're robots, more or less. The animations are all canned. They barely move. They just stand there, like, they don't even, well, mostly they don't even blink. Like, look at Ange in the middle there. She isn't blinking at all. At least, oh, there she goes. There's one blink for, like, 6 blinks, an orange-haired girl on the left there. It just looks overly robotic, especially the girl on the right there who looks like she's just staring into space. And those little animations there where they just, like, turn their head and just those tiny little movements there. They don't look human. Or anything, really. They look like robots, and it kind of disappointing, honestly, because I know this technology can do better, so I'm kind of surprised that it's not as good of a showing as I've seen in other games that use this tech. Other than that, it's just, you know, anime cutscenes. As far as I'm aware, it's a pretty accurate portrayal of the TV show, because I actually went and looked up this cutscene after I watched it, and it does a pig race. And the pig race actually happens in the show around episode 8. So, yeah, you know, you gotta pick one of those little moments there to actually go and look up. There is some decision making to be done as well, and this will actually affect your ending. However, due to this, it makes the game also quite short. Now, I've only been through about, let's say, a third of it. A third sounds about right compared to the trophy list for the game. But, well, let me put it this way. I'm a third of the way through the game and I don't want to play it anymore. But what I'm going to do right now, anyway, is I'm going to shut up and let you listen to the voice acting for, we'll give it 5 more minutes. Trust me, though, there are a lot more cutscenes than that, and you'll get to see them once I've let you listen to the voice acting for a bit. So, yeah, 5 minutes. Have fun.
いくつかの種目で競い合うんだ。自由参加だけど賞金も出る。
毎年マナの偉い人も見に来るんだよ。
マナの偉い人。
今年はローゼンブルム王家のお姫様が視察に来るそうよ。
ミスティが？
確かそんな名前だったわね。知り合いなの？
別に。それで張り切ってるなんてどっちが見せ物なのかわからないわね。
任せろよ。ロザリー様の実力を見せつけてやるぜ。
嫌味も通じないのか。
ナオミちゃんはどうするの？どこを回るか決めた？
私は食べ歩きって言いたいところなんだけど、それがなくて。
なんだって？
キャッシュがないの。
こないだ初物を討伐してどっさり稼いだんじゃなかったの？
どっさり入ってどっさり引かれたらちょっとしか残らなかったの。それもパラメイルの修理で使っちゃって。いくら持ってんの？見せてみ。おお、これはひどい。
幼年部のガキだってもうちょっと持ってるぜ。これじゃ何もできないだろう。
アイスクリームくらいは食べられるかなって。
よし、ついてこい。私が何とかしてやるよ。
ロザリー、お金貸してくれるの？
そこだ、抜け豚骨インパクトー。ほら、お前も声を出せよ。お前の全財産をかけたレースだぞ。あいつが勝てば 307.2 倍だ。当てれば食い物だって洋服だって好きなだけ買えるぞ。よーし、そのまま逃げ切れ。
どの豚さんが豚骨インパクトなんだかわかんないよ。
わー、何刺されてんだよ。豚骨インパクト。
着順が確定しました。1着ジューシーチャーシュー、2着ロケットソーセージ。レースってもう終わり？どうなったの？私のキャッシュ増えた？
まあなんだ、1日くらい食わなくても死なないよな。
負けちゃったの？1キャッシュも残さず？嘘。
ねえロザリー、ちょっと話があるんだけど。向こうでクリスが呼んでるみたいだ。じゃあな、達者に暮らせよ。
あ、ロザリー。逃げられた。一文なしになっちゃった。どうしよう。
なんですって？
フェスタの運営を手伝いたいんです。
少し変わった子だとは思っていたけど、まさかそんなことを言い出すなんて。あなたにとって年に一度きりの休日なのよ。本当に働くつもり？
はい、フェスタはみんなの笑顔が最も輝く日です。私はその笑顔を守るために働きたいんです。
本当は？
キャッシュがなくてすることがありません。あとお弁当が支給されるといいなって。
大方そんなことだろうと思ったわ。
今戻った。どうした？揉め事か？
ジル総司令、ちょうどいいところに戻られました。ナオミが フェスタの運営を手伝いたいと言い出しまして。
Alright, that was about 5 minutes. If I can remember what bloody button disables the auto text. So, yeah, that was an example of... Wow, that was actually close to the end. I should have just let it go. That was an example of one of the game's cutscenes. Now, I'm going to take the opportunity to go through all the menus here because there's not that much to see. So if we just head straight down to configuration, save and load, manual, anytime you want. I don't know what the square button does. Delete saves. Okay, fair enough. Don't want to do that. Settings here, you can change the game from easy, normal, or hard, but I don't really think it matters. You can change the text speed, there's your voice sliders, and I think that resets everything back to defaults. Yes, it does. So, that's pretty simple. Barrel configuration just lets you change all the controls. Not that much to see here. Camera inversion, I'm not entirely sure what that option does, but I believe that is how you toggle your lock-ons. And you can change the camera... Oh no, this isn't the camera settings. This is a weird thing, actually. It lets you see like a 3D model of your thing flying around. And that's pretty much it, really. Like, I'm not entirely sure why this is a thing. You can change the form of it and everything while you're in here and press square to reset it. But I mean, other than that... Oh yeah, you can also take control and use it to practice against dudes, but we won't be doing that right now. We will just be heading back to the room. I wonder why they call that a camera mode and not like a practice mode or something. But anyway, you got 3 things you can do here. We won't check out the deck because we're going to get put in there eventually. So you got 2 things. You got your lounge and you got your missions. Now, your standalone missions are interesting? Question mark? Because these come and go throughout the story, and I'm not entirely sure why. And you can play them for credits, as you can see over on the right there. But most of them are actually really fucking hard for no discernible reason. Like, it's weird. And then you've got the lounge, and the lounge is the more interesting thing, but we're gonna leave the lounge for now because, well, it's been 10 minutes, and I probably want to get some gameplay in before someone in the comments butts in with something really annoying. So I'm just going to pick a mission at random. You can see the briefing, but the majority of these missions basically go to the yellow thing and defend it or attack it, more or less. That's all I've seen so far. As I said, I've only been playing for about 2 hours, but yeah, it's not... I didn't really need much more than that. Also, this is a weird character selection screen. So you're stuck with the pink cat head-ish girl over on the right there in the menu, but then you can pick your 2 wingmen, and I will usually... I think I need to pick... I think I want to pick 2 people who have different weapons, but strangely enough, you've got a ton of different weapons going on here. But yeah, it's like side boob, then front boob. That's pretty much all this character selection screen is. It's kind of dumb. But anyway, we'll just select them and we'll just move straight on into the hangar, or the deck, whatever it's called. So... the deck's got a couple of things. You've got the hangar where you can go to change your frame. You've got your different arms, which are your melee weapon. And you've got rifle, gadget, and shoulder, which are your 3 different weapons. However, due to the fact that I'm using a specific frame, I can't actually use more than a rifle, which is actually really fucking annoying, because for some reason, once I bought a new frame, I got locked out of my other frames. So I can't equip another frame to get my gadget back, but my gadget wasn't really that good anyway. I think I'm going to take the shotgun along for this one, because this is just a grunt mission as far as I'm aware. You can change your parts here, which is basically just a stat rebalancing of your specific stats. You can see your 6 stats down there for your frames. Your weapons and stuff have different stats as well. You can also change the color of your... You can also change the color of your, whatever the hell this is. I think it might be your angel, using the D-pad and the analog stick. So you can change your 3 separate colors here, which is a neat thing you can do. I'll give them that. And you can also change both your mark and your paint. You also have to buy these from the shop, which is where you can go to buy stuff. Congratulations if you figured that out as soon as the word shop came through. So you can see here, you can buy all your different kinds of weapons. There's a few different kinds. You've got different kinds of melee weapons. And then you've got your rifles. You've got your basic rifles, your machine guns, your shotguns, your rocket launchers. I haven't unlocked the other 2 sets of weapons yet. And your gadgets, one of them is a grenade launcher, one of them is a missile launcher. The missile launcher is actually really nice, which is really annoying that I can't equip it. And here's your parts. You can see all the little different things they do to your stats down there. And this is where you also come to buy things like paint jobs and different marks, which I assume are like, yeah, just little logos. I've actually been in here before, so I don't know why I didn't remember. There's the pig, by the way. We could buy that, but I'm not going to, because it actually does cost money, and things in this game cost a ridiculous amount of money for some reason. You can hit briefing to go back to the briefing, or you can just hit sortie. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to sortie. 15 minutes in, and we're finally getting to the gameplay. This is how this game feels sometimes. So up and away we go. Loading screen, despite having a seemingly fully rendered 3D area there already. Alright, so here we go. This is Cross Ange. TR. It's a very simple game. Can't really show much of it off when I am like half a fucking mile away from the bloody enemies I need to shoot, especially when I've only got a shotgun. But yeah, if you just tap the R button twice, your R button is your accelerate. No matter what mode you're in. You press the circle button to swap modes. This puts you into a sort of like mech mode, and then when you press the circle button again, you'll go into your ship mode, which you can use to get around the place. However, you have a limited amount of boost, which means you can't go at the maximum speed all the time, which is actually kind of annoying, because your boost is long enough to make you think, oh, maybe I should, what should I do with this? Should I use it as much as humanly possible? But it's just short enough to make you think, oh, I might actually need it later, because it recharges so slowly. Just like all your weapons. You can see how slow my shotgun blasts are going back in there. And with some weapons, like the rifles, it's even worse, because the basic rifle that you get, and like some of the other basic weapons that you get, do basically no damage to grunts. So you kind of want to take a shotgun along with you, but that means you have to get close, which means you might actually stand a chance of getting hurt. Your square button is your melee attacks, by the way, and they're not actually as good as my shotgun, which is kind of annoying in all sense and purpose of it. So, here's the thing about the game's combat. If you're not using the lock-on mode, which is activated by the L button, you will be slow as arse. So, you need to be flying around, and you'll be trying to shoot these things, and for the most part, you'll be failing miserably. The only reason I was able to hit that thing was because I had a fucking shotgun. But if you press the L button to turn on the lock-on mode, you will lock onto the nearest enemy and you will move towards them. No questions asked. You cannot modify your trajectory. Let me try that again. You cannot modify your trajectory. You can modify your speed, but you can't seemingly modify too much in the way of like your direction. Like you can circle to the left a little and circle to the right a little, but in comparison to everything else in this damn game, it's super slow. So it's really unusual. I'm not entirely sure why they chose this as a sort of thing. So the basic way the combat in this game works is let the lock-on do most of the work for you, fly in, and start attacking. That is pretty much the entire point of the game. I don't know why this mission is so easy. Maybe it's because I have to take them all out in a certain amount of time and I need longer range weapons to do that with, but yeah, the long-range weapons, as I said, are weak as hell. Like, the strongest weapon I have is the bazooka at this point, and the bazooka is just kind of... It's really long range, but it drops off after a while, and it barely does half the damage into one of these mooks. However, if you run into a mission where you have a really big dude, you will have a problem with dealing with it, because you have to get up close in order to do massive amounts of damage to, unless you have one of those big bloody bazookas. And the game sort of warns you that you might be running into big dudes, but not really. And it kind of makes it a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with. So you just end up in this really annoying position where you end up like right up in the face of this big enemy dude. And you go and fire all your weapons and stuff at it, and you're just circling around it like crazy because your lock-on just really does hard lock you onto this damn thing. And you're just constantly trying to fire bullets at it. And there are attacks that come in from these big dudes. Even the little dragons will actually fire stuff at you from time to time, but at the same time they really won't. Yeah, here's one of the big dudes, by the way. Let's see if I can actually fight this thing off in 60 seconds. Probably not. So yeah, they'll actually start firing stuff at you, and due to the fact that your lock-on is really ineffective, you have to cancel your lock-on. And considering that you you realistically can't fly around this damn thing while you're in your mech mode here. You have to actually go into your plane mode in order to try and get out of the way. And it's just this annoying back and forth because there's not much you can do. And as you can see, you can exhaust all your weaponry, and now I can't use my shotgun until it completely empties out. Which means for the next few seconds, I can't do shit. And the time is slowly ticking away there, which means by the time I'm actually able to fight something, I probably won't be able to actually get up to something and shoot at it. I know I might actually get, like, this one dude. Yep. I'm not entirely sure if I even failed or completed that mission or not. No, I did. Apparently it's just a 5-minute survival. And we get credits for it, depending on the enemies you took down. It even takes credits away based on, like, how much damage you took or how much resources you used. But it's basically nothing. I'm not entirely sure why that's there. Right, we're going to do another mission just because I don't want to show off the lounge stuff just yet. Oh yeah, look, it's one of the big-ass boss monsters. I am actually going to want to swap my weapon for this one. I would swap frames, but for some reason, as I said, I've lost access to the frame I started out with. Let me use my gadget, so I can't equip it. I'm legitimately not sure why this is a thing that has happened, but it did. That's my bazooka, so let's just... Maybe it's my arms. Maybe if I equip this, I might be able to equip my other frame. No. It's just a sword. It's a sword. Alright. Whatever. We shall sort you out, shall we? Fight the big boss monster. By myself, apparently. Okay. But anyway, as I was saying, there are monsters that just will throw attacks at you constantly too, and this monster is the best example of one of them. This monster here is actually a dick, because the first time I fought him, I took in a shotgun, thinking, oh, I'll probably be fine, right? Turns out, no. This guy, for no discernible reason, will constantly throw out this little glyph on the ground. And this glyph on the ground, what it does is, does damage to you constantly unless you're outside of range of it. And I had no way of dealing with that, so I basically just kept dying. So I had to go back and... Well, I didn't keep dying, I kept getting hurt, and then I eventually died. So eventually I just went back and got the, Eventually I just went back and got me the, bazooka here, and used it to just cheese this guy, because it was legitimately the best way to handle it. I did try with the rifle first off. Yeah, there's the attack, by the way, and as you saw, I would have had to have either wasted a stupid amount of boost, or swap to this mode, break lock on, and try and run, but get hit by the thing anyway. It's just... Yeah. It's not particularly great. Like, I'm in this giant fucking mech, and I still can't get out of the way of this thing very effectively while I'm in mech mode. It's annoying as shit. I know I'm complaining a lot. I know I am, but... Let me tell you the one reason why I'm not giving this game as much of a break as I might give something like Macross Delta Scramble, even though Macross Delta Scramble was a legitimately fun game. Because there was 3 different mech modes, and it's just, the fact that it was faster than this, it was way faster than this. The game is incredibly boring. That's my main problem with it. Oh my god. The game is just, it's super dull. Like, the majority of mech combat is just going and using your lock-on to attack dragons, like grunts. They don't even bother to fight back. And you just end up extremely bored because all you're doing is just pressing the triangle button, which is a weird fire button, by the way. But then again, the R button is a weird acceleration button. But, you know, you can remap it, so it's not too big of a deal, but it's still a weird control scheme. But as I was saying, you just end up going from one enemy to the next, hitting the triangle button whenever it feels relevant. There are missions where you have to, like, defend a cruiser as it's trying to make its way, like, out of an area. And it's the same damn thing. You just go to an enemy, you hit it, and then you just go and you continue on, trying to stay close to this cruiser in the process. It's not too hard to get the thing destroyed, but at the same time, if you play it even remotely intelligently, you'll be fine. And then you've got big things like this dude. Like, you saw me trying to take on that dragon there, and it did have a bunch of AoE attacks that would hurt me if I got too close to it. So the best thing to do would just be to stand back with the long-range weapons and just fire away. It's the same problem I had with Mecho Tails. You have no reason to get close to these things because there are no, like, long-range attacks that can catch you off guard. So you just end up just standing back and just firing away at it, and basically nothing can hurt you. And that's basically the entire game in a damn nutshell. It's really boring. Because this is all you do. There's not even a health bar for these big dudes, so you don't know how long you've got until they're actually beaten. And every mission has like a time limit you can see up in the top right there, so you do have to beat this thing before the time runs out. It's probably possible, but at the same time, I wouldn't hold my breath too hard, because there are missions that will fail you if you run out of time. There was one mission I played where there's, I think it's a story mission, where you have to basically just hold the R button and dodge machine gun fire that does literally no damage to you. Or at least if it did damage, it didn't do very much. It looked really nice, but it was the most boring thing imaginable. Like, there were a lot of bullets coming at you, and there were tons of little drones and stuff like that, but it was literally just a straight shot, and nothing presented any damage to me whatsoever. Or any threat whatsoever, I should say. So I just ended up just holding the R button down and wiggling the left analog stick to dodge, dive, dash, duck, and dodge. Or was that the 5? I'm pretty sure that was the 5. And I was so bored. As in a story mission of all things. And the story missions are way easier than the, oh, I got it. Just, that was completely anticlimactic, but yeah, I got the damn thing. That is a boss fight, ladies and gentlemen. That is legit the best way to handle a boss fight in this game. I am completely serious. It doesn't get much more interesting than that, but anyway. We're gonna go to the lounge, because this is how you get to the next set of story missions. You select one of these cutscenes, and it's one of these. I'm just gonna hold the R button to skip through these, because these seriously take fucking forever if you don't. And considering that you actually have decisions to answer, you can't skip them. So you just have to be selecting options and hoping that you get the right ones. Because as far as I'm aware, this game has 7 different endings, which to be fair is a lot of endings and probably means the game has some sort of replay value if you want to keep replaying it again to see all the different branches. But as I said, can't understand a thing, so it's kind of useless to me. So yeah, the game is just so dreadfully dull. That's its main issue. And it's multiplied by a couple of other things as well. Like, the control scheme really doesn't help matters, making it so that it's a bit of a chore to get back and forth between your different modes. And then you've got the actual, like, levels themselves, the actual missions. Every single mission I've played has literally just been in a blank stretch of air. Like, all the missions that I've tried, anyway, it's literally just been a blank stretch of nothingness out of the horizon, more or less. There has been sea, and there has been land underneath, and there was, like, the base in one mission, but it didn't come into play at all. It's not like Ace Combat, where you can go and fly among a bunch of, like, buildings and stuff like that. No, it's just flat, plain, boring, empty air. It's the most boring mission area level design that I've played in these sorts of games. You would think with, like, mechs, they would be slightly more entertaining than this. You would think. But apparently not. Even Macross Delta Scramble should actually be commendated for how its levels were designed. You had the big open space levels with tons of ships flying around and everything. They were great. And then you had the ground levels where you could literally get down among the buildings and shoot at dudes. And that was great too. It's the same reason I love the Gundam Battle Universe games, which were made by the same people, by the way. And this game, actually, fun fact, made by the same people who made Bullet Girls. So, Bullet Girls is actually a good comparison to this game, actually. That is... Maybe I need to take my parts off? Hang on, if I take my parts off, will it let me swap frame? No, it won't. I'm guessing... I legitimately don't know what happened. Like, I did buy a different kind of frame and swap to it, and now my other frame's gone. I have no idea. I didn't get any sort of prompts or anything that would be like, oh, you're in trouble now, bitch. But also, for some reason, you can swap to the plane mode while you're in this. I'm going to change my rifle to... What else have I got? No, that's the sword, sorry. That is the sword. Let's go to the rifle. Shotgun. Machine gun. That's the basic rifle. You know what? I'll play with the basic rifle just so you can see what it's like. We don't need to go to the shop, so we'll sortie. So, the action is slow and cumbersome. The levels are boring. The enemies are anywhere between really easy and really annoying to deal with. And, again, I can't understand the story because this is an idiot in ports. Gotta say. Oh, okay, apparently that rifle has the gadget on it. Okay, so this is the grenade. It's kind of crap. It has a very low range, and it's kind of hard to deal with, but to be fair, so does the rifle. But I wish I could see in front of me a bit better. Last thing I need is this giant ass in my face. To be fair, it might be better if it was Ange's ass in my face. At least it'd be something I could enjoy, but no, instead it's just this giant mech that's getting in my way. And look, these are actually firing actual fireballs! Who would have thought? Like, actual enemy trying to kill me. In comparison to all the ones that didn't for some reason. Like, you saw that dragon, those dragons that were flying directly at me during the boss fight. Those things didn't want anything to do with me. And as you can see, my rifle is taking an absolute ton of time to charge, and it does absolutely no damage whatsoever, to the point where I can only kill 2 or 3 in one magazine. It's surprisingly annoying to deal with in the grand scheme of things. Like, look, I'm barely hitting him. The game's accuracy also seems to be decided completely at random too, which is annoying as shit when you're trying to shoot at stuff like this. There we go. Let me guess, next wave, yep, it's all the way over there. So, yeah, like, it's all the way over there. So I end up having to spend like 30 seconds or something out of combat just getting to the next set of dragons. Wow, their fireballs aren't very long range, are they? But I can't even see that they're shooting at me now. That is annoying as shit. Oh, look at that. We have a mid-mission thing going on here. Did you see those drawings down in the bottom left there? Was it just me, or did they look more human than the live 2D stuff they had going on? Just me? I don't think it's just me, but, you know, I'm welcome to be told I'm wrong. The grenade does do splash damage, but not much of it. Yeah, look at how fast I'm losing my rifle there. Thankfully, I have the grenade to fire every once in a while, but it completely and utterly missed. And I can't fire ahead either. Like, I know that these guys are traveling in a certain direction and that I need to fire ahead, but the game won't let me do that. It just falls behind. So, yeah, I can't fire at them. And this is the default weapon the game starts you off with, so if you were hoping for a good first battle... Oh look, they're not even trying to fire at me now. They were trying before, but now they're not even giving it a shot. And there's some more that we have to fly for about 15 to 30 seconds to get to. Can you see why this game bores me? Like, Macross Delta Scramble kept it coming. It had interesting upgrade systems because it basically copied the Gundam Battle Universe system, which I admit is the only game of that series that I've played, so if it came from an earlier game in the series, fine by me, but it had an interesting battle system. It had an interesting upgrade system. It had 3 different modes and they all felt fairly useful. And this game just doesn't have any of that. It has boring combat, boring levels, boring enemies, and cumbersome controls. I'm bored to tears, and I was like, I don't remember Macross Delta Scramble being this bad. I ended up going and watching my video on it, and it made me want to play Macross Delta Scramble instead of this. Now, I know this game came out before Macross Delta Scramble, and as far as I'm aware, you're not actually going to be able to buy this game new, because it's been out of print for quite some time. But please don't. Like, buy Macross Delta Scramble instead. Like, I know that it's got that DLC that you need to be on the Japanese store to get, even though it's free and all that, but Macross Delta Scramble beats this game so thoroughly. It really does. I like that game so much better. It just does... It does mech combat right. Even Gundam Seed Battle Destiny, which, to be fair, isn't the best in that, like, whole Gundam Battle series. Still, miles and miles and miles ahead of this. Miles. So, yeah. That's how I feel about Cross Ange TR. But the timer isn't going... Oh no, there goes the timer. I don't even know if I'm going to fail this mission, honestly. I probably am. Although I do find it a bit weird that all the enemies just disappear when the clock hits 0. I'm just gonna skip this, hang on. Okay, no, I succeeded apparently. So how this game works, so now that we've done the one story mission in the game, it continues on to the next chapter. And that's pretty much it. Like, see, we just go straight into the next cutscene, and this will take us straight into the next chapter. You do get a prompt to... Oh yeah, I forgot about this, too. I will give them a little bit more credit. Like, I did say that they didn't look particularly human with the full figure. But when it's just the head and the shoulders, it looks way better. I don't know why. I don't know. Like, does anyone else see this? Does anyone else think this is just that little bit weird? Maybe, maybe not, but whatever. I'm just gonna skip the rest. Usually someone else turns up in those scenes, because of course it's glorious fan service, but... No. Yeah, and there's your options, by the way, instead of like a skip button. A skip button would be nice. At least skip to the next decision. That would be very useful, but... Yep. I'm just gonna be sitting here holding the skip button for 5 minutes. Oh, it's just a save question. No. This is weird. There we go, finally. Alright. Yeah, see, Chapter 6. You saw Chapter 5, because I loaded it into a save game that was directly at the end of Chapter 4, so... You get the general idea. I have no idea what this scene is meant to signify. No clue. But, look, yeah, I'm gonna be skipping through cutscenes for 5 minutes if I keep going through that, but I don't want to. I'm done. That's the end of the video. There's no point. I haven't got anything else to talk about, so... This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.